Yeah, I had a great team meeting this morning. Started out with the truth and showed them there was some picture on Twitter or one of those that somebody sent me where it was a picture of the 16 teams that are currently bowl eligible after 7 weeks, and there's a big LU right in the middle of it. So that's the truth that we concentrated on today in the team meeting. It's a great accomplishment for our program and our school and our fans and everyone, administrators. So we're pleased to be in that group this early in the season. So that's the truth. We tried to we probably spent more time on that and trying to move forward than the negative side of the truth, which is we played a very poor football game offensively and third down and penalties on defense. It's outside of that, the defense played really well, but third and long and penalties were just, the second quarter, they stayed on the field the whole quarter with 4 third down penalties that converted drives and ended up in some points. And so we played, we did not play great football. And offensively, it was a story of sabotage by our own selves much of the game. And that's very frustrating to me. I haven't felt like this in a long time. Don't know that I've ever felt like it, truthfully. And but we didn't concentrate on that this morning. We concentrated on the fact that I asked them, well, somebody texted me, would you rather win the Masters by 1 stroke or 5 strokes? I don't really care, and that's kind of the way we are. We're at 6-1, and that means we've got grit and toughness and fight, and our coaches find a way. I thought, looking at how I called the game, thought it was, 2 plays that I'd probably do over, and thought we called a good drive there in the fourth quarter, and our kids finally executed that drive when we needed to. And so we made a drive when we had to. So, again, they found a way to win. And so we concentrated on the fact that we were bowl eligible after 7 games, which only 16 teams in the country can say that. And obviously quickly turned our attention to the opportunity that is in front of us. And this opportunity should be exciting. It should be one that's welcomed. It is a great challenge, but yet one that we should be excited and embrace with faith and belief that we've done something well to make a game that has some significance in a lot of people's minds by playing such a great program like BYU at our home. Being in this position, I think they're a top 25 team in the country. I know polls don't. If you lose, polls beat you up. But their strength of schedule. Oregon, Baylor, Notre Dame, Arkansas. This is they have to have one of the toughest strength of schedules in the nation, and Utah State's a really good team too. So they just. They'll play anyone. They're a Power 5 team that plays probably a harder schedule than a lot of Power 5 conference teams because of where they are currently. But it is a tall challenge. They're physically much larger than we are. They've got some full-grown men, and obviously they know what they're doing. They've won a lot of football games at that place, and now you bring in Kalani, who, truthfully, I want to say this. Honestly, I've got some good friends in coaching with, Nick and Gus and Kirby and some of those guys, but Kalani Sitake is one of the finest human beings that you will ever meet, and he loves his players. I just enjoy being around this guy, and I love his core values, what he's about, and just it'll be fun getting to visit with him. I'm not excited about. I mean, I am excited about the challenge, but I wish they weren't very good, but they're really good, and that credit goes to him and his staff and his players. But man, it's going to be an exciting night or afternoon at on the mountain, and we've got ESPN covering the game, and so what an opportunity! And let's go embrace it. Super talented team defensively. They're very multiple. That's a little different. They've been a lot of different pitchers. Probably the best linebacker group we faced for sure. The D-line is strong. But they've done a lot of different looks depending on the game. So we'll have to figure out kind of how they're going to play us. And offensively, this quarterback, he's a true dual threat he's a problem. And really good running back. So line's huge. Receivers are really talented, and it's one of the best teams we faced. They're right there with Wake and Forest, if not maybe a little better at some places. So looking forward to the challenge, man. I hope our fans and students and everyone is as excited as we will be come Saturday afternoon.
You brought this up in your opening statement about what it means for the program to host BYU, and your first year here, getting a chance to go out there, and your pregame speech to the team was fulfilling the mission of Jerry Falwell Sr. And what does it mean for this program to have BYU, one of the institutions that Jerry Falwell Sr. said he wanted Liberty to be, to come here for the first time?
Yeah, I think we talked about that in our team meeting. We're walking in the fulfillment of a vision that started, from nothing really, and other than a belief. And to be able to walk in that, and I know that Dr. Falwell would be just ecstatic to see the crowd, the atmosphere, and everything that's going to be on Saturday afternoon here playing a team that he had such high regard for, as do I, in BYU. So it's hopefully we embrace that part of it also.
You have one of Kalani's former players in Bentley Hanshaw, and a 23-year-old who's got sophomore eligibility.
Yeah.
What's he brought to the tight end room in terms of, I guess, someone who's older that can relate to these guys?
Well, he's a mature young man, but physically still has a ways to go because he needs to gain some girth and all of that. But he's playing significant snaps for us even where he's at. Kalani was incredible in that whole experience and trying to help both parties. And Kalani's that type of guy. He's for these young men and kids that are in our programs. And in his case, he's got a lot of 25-year-olds, and Bentley's going to be one of those for us, hopefully. And I hope he gains about 30 pounds for the next 3 seasons. But I'm sure it'll mean a lot for Bentley to see his old friends and old coaches, and he'll want to compete and win also.
Now, Kalani said after their game Saturday that you would be chomping at the bit when you see their defensive tape the way it's gone the last couple of weeks. You talked about them being multiple. What else do you see that they've had some struggles?
Well, I mean, he's played Arkansas, Oregon, and Baylor. I mean, so those guys have some, their depth chart may look a little different than ours right now, currently, especially right now with the injuries we've had. So I'm not one to chomp at the bits a whole lot at anybody right now. Without us getting better, it's hard for me to feel like that. I mean, we got to block those guys, and it hadn't been typical, for them to give up the number of points they have, for sure. But again, they were playing some really good players, and Arkansas kind of snowballed on them. When you watch the tape, it doesn't feel like they scored 50 points. But, I'm sure he's having some of the same feelings I'm having about our offense right now. And, I assure you, I don't feel overly confident right now that we're going to walk out there and be able to just block them and go up and down the field.
It's 6-1 now, obviously bowl eligible, but as far as getting the guys, as far as having, I won't say something to play for, but just this second half of the season, having big opponents like BYU and just the prospects of having a special season, does it make it a little easier to get these guys out here every week, fired up and ready to go?
I don't know, Nick. I mean, if we're having to jump through hoops and create some circus atmosphere to get our kids to want to compete against BYU or Arkansas, we're probably in big trouble. So I don't think the leadership of our team looks at it like, hey, we've checked the box and bowl eligible, and now we can just put it on cruise. I certainly hope not. I don't sense that at all. Don't believe that's the case.
Ed, with a question online. Ed, go ahead.
Yeah, when you look at BYU, Hugh, in terms of just the physicality, is there a different level of challenge with an offensive and defensive line that has had so much time to not just physically mature, but obviously in a lot of cases mentally mature because of the mission as well that a lot of these guys go on?
Yeah, I mean, this is big boy football for sure, and we're going to be we'll be really undersized in a lot of matchups, and it's going to take enormous straining to win on every play for us to have a chance to win this in the fourth quarter, and it's going to take all of our kids doing that. But there's no question that the physical presence of their team is daunting when you look at it, really.
How close did Charlie come to being available Saturday? What are the prospects for you?
I don't think he wasn't near close enough for Saturday. I do think there was drastic improvement over the weekend. Obviously, Mondays for us is a very light day. We do red zone work, and he looked fine doing that. But that's throwing from here to that wall there. He hadn't had to turn it loose and throw a 40-yard, 50-yard ball yet, so I really don't know. We'll have to see how the week progresses.
Thoughts on Jaron Hall, their quarterback?
Yeah, he just tough young man, smart, savvy, confident. Uses his legs when he needs to, and can throw it. So it's a tough matchup.
They've started using Buka and Nakua out of the backfield a little bit too, as well as the receiver. I mean, how dynamic of a player is he as far as a matchup?
They're just they're really well coached and got a really good scheme, and they got good athletes at the receiver, tight end, and running back position to go with their dual threat quarterback and a huge offensive line. In all these games, he didn't say in his post press conference that they were struggling offensively. I hope, because they're putting up points against everybody, some really good teams. So they've got a good scheme and good players.
You've brought up 2 of the past 3 weeks about third down defense, especially third and long, as Old Dominion and this past weekend. Is that something where it's schematics, or is it just?
There's some of it. I think we've got a good scheme now, but we're not obviously. 2 of the ones the other night where the quarterback broke contain and our kids came out of coverage on 3rd and 17. We can tackle the quarterback before he gets 17 yards. We don't need you running up and leaving a receiver that's in your zone. And so, obviously, we haven't worked it enough.
You guys come out fairly healthy after Saturday?
Yeah, I think C.J. Yarborough's in concussion protocol. Javian Lofton's in a boot. I think that's the only 2 that are questionable for this weekend, other than the long list that we already have.
Do you hope to get Caleb Snead back?
I hope he went through red zone work today and looked fine there. Hadn't seen him strain yet, but hopeful.
You mentioned those penalties in the first half, especially. I know at the time you were a little skeptical, maybe.
Well, I don't think any of them were pass interference, but our quality fouls, we'll see what they say. We turned them in. The late hit on the quarterback, roughing the passer, it was not very smart by us. The guy had left the pocket and looked like he was running, but I don't think it. I just think I think the roughing the passer kind of set me off because when you run, but it should have been, I think it was a late hit.
Ed, did you have another one, or are you good?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, everybody get ready. It's going to be an exciting day, hopefully a beautiful day. I hadn't seen the weather, but, man, we need the students and fans, and we need all the help we can get to be there to give us enough energy to hopefully make it an exciting fourth quarter. So come on out, and it's going to be a great day of celebration of kind of where the vision has come that Dr. Falwell cast many years ago.